Hi my loves! So today's video is going to be a teeny bit different than normal, actually a lot different, but don't be scared. Today I'm going to be talking about a topic that is extremely important to me, and that is feminism. And a lot of you are probably like X, and you're like Xing out of this video and everything. And it's a controversial topic, and that's why I'm talking about it, because it shouldn't be that way. It's such a positive thing in my mind, and I just want you guys to feel the same. So basically in this video, I'm going to be talking about what feminism is, what it is not, why I'm a feminist, and please bear with me if you don't want to hear this, but you still are not very educated on this topic. I really would love it if you'd listen to me and like hear me out, and even after you listen to me and you still don't want to be a feminist, or you still don't like this topic, still makes you uncomfortable or anything like that, I totally respect your opinion, but at least listen to what I have to say first. So I knew I was a feminist a year or two ago when my friend Jessie, she's my roommate, and her sister Jackie, when they told me about it, I of course had my doubts because I didn't completely understand what the topic was and how it related to me, but after listening, it completely changed my mindset and affected me for the better. And this was before, this was a big movement, before Beyonce talked about it, before Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Emma Watson talked about it, and let me tell you, I am delighted that that happened, and I speak for feminists around the world when I say it's such a euphoric feeling that it's become such a big thing, and that so many people are getting educated on the topic and coming to realization that it's best. I'm going to begin by telling you the definition of feminism, as well as what feminism is not and common misconceptions about it. What feminism is by definition is equality, which means men and women have the exact same rights as one another. No sex is higher than the other. A man is not better, a woman is not better. We are equal. With that being said, being a feminist isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad word. It shouldn't make people run in the other direction like they probably did when they saw the title of this video. In fact, when I hear that a man is a feminist, I get excited. It's such an almost turn on to me, because it means that he values me. He values me as a woman. I'm not an object to him, and it means that we can start a future together in a sense that he believes we are equals. He doesn't have to be the breadwinner. I can be a woman who works while he can stay home with the kids. We have these equal roles, and one role isn't fit for one another. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to cook and clean for you. Of course I'd love to do that for you, but it also means that he'd love to cook and clean for me, because as a woman I don't have to do that. It means that these normal gender roles completely cease to exist. They completely dissipate from our everyday lives of what we have in our minds as what modern society is. I found that when I'm in a position of power, men don't like it. I've been called a bitch for simply speaking up, stating my opinion, offering my intellectual solutions to problems in order to help resolve them and fix them. Now, all of a sudden, since I'm being assertive yet confident in that situation, and I know what I'm talking about, and men feel a bit intimidated, all of a sudden I am being called a bitch for stating and trying to help what's going on. And I need feminism because I would like to be in that same exact situation and be looked at with respect, the same respect a man would get if he was in a position of power. And I want to be in a situation where men don't feel uncomfortable yet marginally intimidated by a woman with power. On the other hand, I need feminism because I don't want to be called a bitch for standing up for myself. I am a young college student, and I don't want to be called a bitch by a man at a party just for rejecting offensive sexual advances. But to me, if a man and a woman have the same sex life, they should be treated as such. A woman shouldn't be looked down upon because she sleeps with just as many people as a man does. It's so sad to the point that if I'm at a party or something and a guy comes up to me and he hits on me, the guy respects what I'm saying more if I tell him I have a boyfriend than if I would just say no, because it's almost like he respects bro code or a fellow man more than he respects my decision to not do something. Nowadays, guys are making up very silly excuses such as friend zone and nice guys finish last, because they feel sorry for themselves because they treated a girl with the utmost respect as a human should be treated. They treated her nicely, and they think they deserve a reward, aka sex, for doing so. No. I need feminism conjointly because my personal decision to remain abstinent shouldn't result in me being called a prude. Furthermore, if I chose to sleep with many men, which I personally abstain from doing, it shouldn't result in me being called these derogatory names such as a slut or a whore, because men need to understand that equally women are just as sexual beings as men. Women may not proclaim it as much as men because throughout ubiquitous as well as ecumenical history, we were taught that it's unladylike and wrong. I need feminism because I don't want to be apologetic for having a superior job position than a man. It coincides with the fact that it is proven that a college-educated man makes $20,000 more per year than a woman with the same college education level. That's so unjustifiably discriminatory. Society doesn't even hide the fact that it's this sexist. Like, even in the media, for example, before Miley did all the stuff she did, I still love her, but when she at first came out with when she first came out with a provocative picture, it was of her sitting on a stool with a sheet wrapped around her, and everyone was livid. They were saying, oh my gosh, she's a Disney Channel star, how can she do this, how can she pose in that way? But recently, Nick Jonas came out, not even in a artful way, but blatantly grabbing his man parts, and everyone's like, oh my god, he's so hot, he grew up so nicely, like, and he's a Disney star, just like Miley. Why was Miley's provocative picture a big deal when his was nothing and it was praised? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm saying all this stuff about how men can treat women better with more respect, but it can go both ways. For example, when women tell men to be a man, or men tell that to each other, that's wrong to me, because what does be a man mean? Men can show just as much emotion as women. It shouldn't be frowned upon when a man sheds a tear. It shouldn't be that rare. And men can have just as many problems as women. For example, men can be sexually assaulted. I heard one time that a man was on the phone with, a sexual assault line, and a woman laughed at him because men can't be sexually assaulted, but they can. Men can be raped, women can be raped, and both genders do it. And just as much, a man can be anorexic. Why is it called manorexic when a man's anorexic? It's anorexic. It's a disease. It doesn't matter what your sex is or your gender, whatever. The fact that even something as simple as a disease or a problem can be sexist, it blows my mind. Although a man can be raped or sexually assaulted, I can't deny the fact that, men rape women more than women rape men. And with that being said, nowadays, I want society to be able, instead of teaching their daughters to carry mace everywhere with them and take self-defense classes, they should be teaching their sons that no means no. I think I first internally became a feminist in grade school or in high school when the American education system made it completely apparent that they value a boy's education more than a girl's. This became apparent to me on a few separate occasions. Number one was a time when I wore a very thick tank top. Another time when I wore a skirt that was like 3 inches above my knees when it was supposed to be 2, which isn't even flattering in the beginning. And I was sent home for these reasons, and I remember, and I quote, the sole reason was because it was suggestive to the boys. Let that sink in. So what my school was telling me was that they would rather send me home, take away any academic lesson I would have learned that day, because of the small fact that an inch of my knee might give a hormonal high school boy a thing. So with all that being said, I think you can understand why I love feminism, and it makes me happy, it makes me feel good that I am a valued member of society, just valued exactly as much as a man is valued, and a man is valued exactly as much as I am valued. I hope by watching this video everyone fully understands what it means to be a feminist. It's not a bad thing, it's an awesome thing, and you can join me, and we're like a little movement. So I really hope you don't mind this video at all. I just really wanted to talk about it because it's a very important part of my life, and I wanted to tell people about it because it makes me excited, and hopefully I even created some little feminists out of you guys. boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Boy feminists, they're awesome too though, because they're just so cute. Well, they're both cute. Anyway, but thank you guys so much for watching. I honestly truly appreciate it, and I love you so much, okay? Bye!